At 7:10 this evening, Martin Luther King was shot in Tennessee. This was to be a gala occasion for a little Negro college from Mississippi appearing in Carnegie Hall with the great Duke Ellington. Martin Luther King, 20 minutes ago, died.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children.
In April of 1968, the flag of the United States was lowered to half-mast. It was lowered for the first time in the nation's history for the death of a private citizen, a man who claimed no office, no rank, no national title, a man who claimed only a dream. It was lowered for the first time in the nation's history for the death of a private citizen, a man who claimed no office, no rank, no national title, a man who claimed only a dream.
No words of ours and no words of mine can fill the void of the eloquent voice that has been stilled. But this I do believe deeply. The dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has not died with him. Men who are white, men who are black, must and will now join together as never in the past to let all the forces of divisiveness know that America shall not be ruled by the bullet, but only by the ballot of free and of just men. In these years, we have moved toward opening the way of hope and opportunity and justice in this country. We have rolled away some of the stones of inaction and of indifference and of injustice. Our work is not yet done, but we have begun. And we must move with urgency and with resolve. And now, therefore, I, Lyndon B. Johnson, President of the United States, do call upon all Americans to observe Sunday next, the 7th day of April, as a day of national mourning throughout the United States of America.
And there was more than a day of mourning. Around the nation, grief paraded unashamed. And for those who grieved alone, television brought the faces of leaders, black and white, into their
Black
homes.
brothers and sisters in our city. This is Walter Fauntroy, Vice Chairman of your City Council and Director of the Washington Bureau of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. There's no one in this city tonight who is more stunned, whose heart is more crushed or broken by the tragic events of the night that have robbed our nation and our world of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. It will be very difficult for us tonight and in the days and weeks to come, all of us, to deal with our deep sense of grief.
I think it can be said that he now stands with our other American martyrs in the cause of freedom and justice. His death is a terrible tragedy and sorrow, first of all to his family, to our nation, and to our conscience.
To paraphrase Winston Churchill, if we have resolve, we can convert this moment of the nation's greatest shame into our finest hour. The only thing more tragic than the death of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. would be that the only response would be black anger and white sympathy.
It may be that out of the ashes of this awful tragedy, that a new dawn can break. It depends on each of us. It may be that the prophecy that Dr. King once made may come true when he said, "We now stand in the midnight of our existence, but I see a new dawn coming."
You can kill a man, but you cannot kill an idea. And the idea and the ideals for which Dr. Martin Luther King stood, for which he lived, and for which he died, will continue to live in this country, will continue to live in this city. And despite the sorrow under which all of us today feel so heavy, there will on the morrow be a resurgence of the confidence that he was right.
There's not going to be any replacement for Martin Luther King Jr. anytime soon. He was the leader and now the martyr of the whole civil rights crusade, which has been the most important domestic issue of this century in America.
Hours before the assassination, the country was enjoying the beginnings of the political season. The air was full of speeches, cheering, and the sideline prophets of November. But after the news of the death of Dr. King, the man who was to become the nominee of his party for the presidency stopped his campaign in an instant and for 2 weeks suspended politics in midair. He said Dr. King was a man determined that the American Negro should win his rightful place alongside all others in his nation, and at the same time a man whose life was devoted to the principle of peaceful, nonviolent change. But not all were nonviolent, not all grieved. There were those who used death as an excuse for the game of destruction. Their expression was neither grief nor hunger. Their numbers were small. The damage was not. It was Watts and Newark and Detroit all over again. But as in Watts and Newark and Detroit, most deplored the violence, and once again spokesmen went to the medium of television.
The thing that discourages me and dismays me and disheartens me is that in the reports so far coming in, we have reports of looting, not anger, not violent outbreaks, not an expression of their sorrow and resentment at the killing of Dr. King, but utilizing this as an opportunity to steal things. Now, I think Martin's memory is desecrated by this kind of action.
And it becomes thievery when the carnival atmosphere that Mr. Wilkins talks about does prevail. And I don't see sad faces mourning the tragic loss of this great American. I see people laughing and giggling. I somehow want to disown those people. I don't want to call those people who were laughing less than 48 hours after our leader died and stealing. Those are not really brothers. Those cannot be the people who are striving for the dignity that we should have at this point.
As difficult as it was for those of us who are civil rights figures, I'm afraid to say leaders or spokesmen, that someone must have the maturity in the black community to say that these riots are riots and they cannot, by any stretch of the imagination, be made into people's rebellion. And I think in this moment, this is the moment for, and Roy has always had the courage to call a spade, if I may use a racist euphemism, to say that you can't make a people's rebellion out of riots. There's no way within the realm of morality looting can be justified. It is illegitimate, it is wanton, it is dishonest. And even though these are black teenagers predominantly, that's all it is. It's hoodlumism, and we, amongst the other people in our larger community, must say also that it is wrong and it is deplorable, and the nation cannot digest it.
This is the greatest country in the world. If we're going to destroy it, then we're out of our heads. We can't do that. We got to protect what's ours. We got to protect our kids. You know, tomorrow, well, Monday, it'll be time for the kids to go to school again. Will they have homes to come back to when they go to school? Or are you going to put them out in the street?
The greatest tribute, I repeat, in the name of God, in the name of Martin Luther King Jr. that we can make is to handle our grief in the spirit of nonviolence. Those who respond violently in their grief do Dr. King and his memory a dishonor.
The destruction and theft was done, and those that did grieve picked up the pieces. Churches and other facilities throughout the cities were set up as emergency centers for those whose homes had been burned and looted. With the help of government agencies and private organizations, the volunteers came from within and from outside the troubled areas to resupply food, to rebuild, and to reclothe. The flags flew at half-mast before, and they would fly at half-mast again. But with each sorrow came a new strength. This motion picture is merely the short sentence of aftermath in the volume that Martin Luther King wrote in American history. His death took no more than a second. The violence was temporary, but the name, the deeds, and the dreams of Martin Luther King have become permanent.
I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, I have a dream.
Perhaps grief took its part in the dream, for in the faces of those who assembled to hear the eulogies, every valley was exalted, every hill and mountain was made low, the rough places were plain, and the crooked places were straight, and all flesh, black and white, saw it together.